quick intro to Kevin, because
Yeah.
so to give you guys some background, when we moved, me and Hina moved from Canada to London. The first place we moved to was this area called Wembley, and within Wembley Park, there's this building that we decided to rent through. It's called Vonder, and like me, Kevin, a bunch of our friends, we laugh about our experiences there, and we won't get into it, but one thing that we do always appreciate about Vonder is that Vonder allowed us to meet each other. So they would host like events and so forth on like a monthly basis. And literally the first event that me and Hina went to, probably like a week or two from moving in, we met Kevin and a bunch of people. And then from there on, we just like kicked it off. And Kevin, like he loves business. He's an entrepreneur himself, and we actually found out we like the same podcasts and like just a lot of similarities, and then we just clicked from there. And ever since, we've been great friends. But Kevin, I'll let you talk a little bit about yourself and your perspective.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's one of the good things of co-living. You get to meet a lot of cool people, but yeah, there is something that directly clicked with you where we had so many things that matched. Uh, I remember like they were running one of these events where you can meet people, and we were talking business from like the 15 minutes after we actually met, and that was just fun to
I
see that
know.
this guy knows this guy knows indie hackers, this guy knows wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite incredible. Yeah. So do you want me to kind of like go through like I don't know my background or
Yeah. Tell us, because
Yeah.
I never met you, bro. And you never met me. So I'd love to know kind of like what your background, man. You said you were from Switzerland, right?
yeah
So
from
I'd love to
Switzerland.
learn about that experience, and then, let's find out what you're working on today.
Yeah. So well, I come from Switzerland. Although I'm living in London now, as Khaliq mentioned. I kind of like studied in computer science in school. I did a degree that's called CFC. It's kind of like an apprenticeship that teaches you basic tech, like IT support, these kind of things. But before doing that, I, from a very young age, I fell in love with tech and developing, creating games, creating apps, creating things basically. So even before joining this school, I already had a lot of knowledge. I was doing website for small businesses in my town. I helped my father with his own business and his website, his ads, his a lot of things before I even joined this school. Then it's kind of like a common thing in Switzerland. Like you have to go through kind of like school and go through school because they're very like if you want to get a job in the future, you really have to get that diploma, get that papers, and they really hire from that. And well, I didn't really like school, but still, it was a very good experience for me. Yeah, so during my time there, I also worked at a company for a year. We were doing basically like software engineering, development, these kind of things. I got very lucky. And when I finished basically this whole experience, there was this opportunity where I could go in Europe and find a job somewhere and work from there for a year, and I would get a tuition and all these kind of things. And so yeah, I tried running in the program, and they let me in. They allowed me to find a job, and I decided to go in London and try to find something. This is where I found that Samsung was hiring for a developer advocate. And at that point, I didn't really know what it was, what I was getting myself into. But one thing led to another. I got the position, and I was suddenly an intern at Samsung. That's
Wow.
to, for someone coming from Switzerland and like having this degree, it was kind of like a weird thing to end up in such a company.
Yeah, 100%.
Uh, but yeah, I got lucky because I had a heavy portfolio for my age. Like I had worked on so many websites in my country. I was kind of like leading projects in the company I was working at when I was still in school. Um, yeah, I was doing a lot of things. So kind of like understand why they chose me. Then I did what 6 months as an intern. Then they hired me, and yeah, that was kind of like what happened at Samsung. And I was doing developer advocacy, which is basically advocating for as a developer to other developers. So I'd go on stage and discuss X or Y technologies that the company is making, showing how great some of the APIs and uh, other tools that the company is making public and making them available for developers, explaining why we're using them, creating content online. It's kind of like a position where you're in between a developer and kind of like you're doing also marketing at the same time. So it's
Yeah, like an
really a mix.
Yeah.
evangelist. Yeah, you're like
Yeah,
an
Yeah,
it is an
evangelist.
evangelist.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of like what I was doing there. And yeah, I don't know if you got
and
questions, like interrupt
and
me
then
whenever.
like so like at that point, obviously now you're an entrepreneur, right? And you can say that quite confidently that you are. At what point did you decide, hey, like I want to leave Samsung and take this leap, right? I think for oftentimes it's there's a lot of thought process that goes through it and go through people's minds. So what was your thought process before you took that leap?
Yeah, there was. Well, thing is, when I joined, I already knew it wasn't like for a long time. Like in my head, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna stay 6 months there, do my internship, and then go back home with my family and go back to whatever I was doing. But yeah, they decided to like give me a full-time role, which is something that I didn't expect, and that kind of like changed my whole perspective about it. But what basically happened is that, well, kind of like COVID struck during that time, and my job completely changed. You realize that, like, as an evangelist, like, you go to conferences, you meet people, there's a lot of travel involved, a lot of meeting new people, and this is like the part of the job that I loved. And I was
Yeah.
kind of like removed all of a sudden. And yeah, at the time I was like, oh, seems like I'm just on my own. I can write content, but it's not the same as like seeing people and like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of like started to become something that I didn't want myself to be in for X or years. So yeah,
And
I don't
then
know.
so,
I've
so
yeah.
like did you so at that point, like obviously it was kind of like a blessing and a blessing, right? Like where it's like sure, um, you're no longer at Samsung and you're like, okay, what do I do? Um, like I guess was it like when did you start freezing cam right after that or like
Oh no.
what did you work
Yeah.
on before that?
So yeah, freezing. So I should have mentioned that. Well, during my time there, I worked on well, freezingcam.com. It's this app that allows you to freeze your webcam on Zoom. And yeah, it's
But first of all, that's so sick that you
Yeah, can
built
we
that.
talk
And
about that? What is freezing
yeah,
cam? Because like I'm like, yo, what the hell is that? It sounds really enticing.
so let's say you're in a meeting like we are right now. Well, I don't have it enabled, so I won't be playing with it right now. But basically, think about it. You're in a meeting with your boss. You want to get out of the meeting. You just press a button and your whole image freezes, basically. And that's it. And that's it. Like that's the whole software. Like obviously there's like more advanced feature. Like you could, like, let's say you're a student, you have to put your camera on, because that was a big thing during COVID. Like companies, schools are forcing people to turn on the camera, and a lot of people were not confident with that. So yeah, there was this functionality where you could put a video instead of you. So it would just be
Wow.
playing instead of you. And yeah, people love that.
did you build that for fun or like was it intentional to build a business around it?
No, it wasn't. So I was already big in the hacker community. I was like reading a lot of things that was happening there, and it was very inspirational. And I don't know, I think I was with my girlfriend and we were joking about this thing. And at some point I went like, okay, let's try it and see how far I can take it. just as a personal challenge. Yeah, that's it.
That's incredible.
That's his girlfriend in the video too. I love
Exactly, yeah.
it.
So did you, okay, so how did the pricing model work for this? Did you charge people money or?
Yeah, so well, at first it was kind of like different pricing plans that I kind of like played around to figure out how much I should charge. But right now the pricing model is £9 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can pay yearly for, I don't know what the prices are exactly, but I think it's 50 pound a year, something like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, people really like it, and the
So like
website,
talk about
as
the
you can see, is
press.
very
Like
basic.
you had like Ryan Seacrest, like there's quite a
Yeah.
bit of hype on
So
it, man.
so to be fair, like the press, I would be more impressed about the impressions and the views I got on TikTok instead of the press. The press was really much about like some people who like some publication that like reposted it and made fun of it, and those, like, to be fair, it's kind of like old people looking at what a young guy did and making fun of him, kind of. That was kind of like the vibe that I got from like the traditional
Haters.
press. It's all right. It's all right. It's good press. Good
Yeah,
advertisement. You know.
old press is good press, am I right? So
Yeah.
Exactly
it's
right.
not like freezing cam killed anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
I
No,
could have
no,
used
no.
it. I could have used it, to be honest. Yeah, I have a tendency of not paying attention during meetings, and it shows. So I should make like an inquisitive face, like,
Exactly,
and then just
exactly.
Yeah,
That
freezes
is.
right there, like,
That would work 100%.
Yeah, no, I love
Um,
it. I think it's great. So you started selling it. How much revenue did you guys generate during your first year? Is that something that you can disclose, or are you guys trying to sell it? Like, I'm not sure where you guys are at with that right now.
yeah, so I had kind of like a few people asking me to buy it, but I haven't yet agreed on like price or anything because I feel like it's still my baby, you know. I want to see where I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point it was making, I don't know, it wasn't much. I think it was when it first started, I was making about maybe $1,800 a month, something like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
that's amazing.
And how much
Subscription,
development
just
time did it take you to build it?
all right. So here's the story. Like I was in France on vacation with my girlfriend. So she was like studying there, but whatever. It was a Thursday, I think. Thursday I got the idea. Friday I had the prototype. Saturday I had the website on. And I think by Monday it was on producthunt.com. Uh yeah,
Holy.
literally a 4-day thing. And yeah, that was crazy. That was
And
crazy. And like
you
I
did
did.
that all by yourself at that time of building it.
Yeah, it was just me. It was only compatible on Mac at first. So you only had it on like your Apple computers and things like this. And there was like a lot of bugs. I remember when I first, like, people started to come on the website when I launched because it was getting a lot of attention. And people weren't able to purchase. Like there was like a payment error that I made when I was making the website. And
Yeah.
so I had like a ton, like maybe 50 people who tried like actually buying the software, that and it completely failed. Like the payment didn't go through. It was canceled for everyone. So I had to fix everything during the launch. And yeah, it was good
Crazy.
fun.
That's awesome, man. 4 days. That's like, yeah, that's unheard of. I mean, I guess you see it in those like hackathons, but that's crazy that when you put your mind to it, you just put your head down and just that's all you think about. And
Yeah.
obviously pair that with your development skills and coding skills. Like that's awesome, man. Like speaking about like coding, like obviously so you went through that program that taught you like a good foundation of coding through that in Switzerland, and then you've been basically self-taught. Your majority of your life have been self-taught. Like, what helped you become a really good developer, and what like resources have you used that you could say that contributed to you becoming a good one?
Yeah. Well, there is many things. So first, I think one of the thing that really helped me is that I started young, really young. I think I got my first computer when I was 10 years old, I think, something like that. Like I was begging for it, literally. I remember making a letter to my father, and I was like, "This is the reasons why I want a computer." And making website was a part of it. It was not only games,
Yeah.
but yeah. So I guess starting young is one of the good thing. But the resources and the energy you're willing to put inside, like actually trying to figure out how it works, how like like yeah, going into problems and trying to solve them. Like I think that's one of the main thing. In terms of resources, I feel like anything you can find on the internet is good resources. There's I think internet is just the best resource. You can find anything online. Like and there's like free courses. You don't need to pay for anything. Like
Yeah.
you just Google whatever you want to learn, free tutorial, and then someone will explain it to you. There
Yeah.
is not now there's like website that help you and they help you go through kind of like a program in a structured manner, which I think is easier, I think, to
What's
learn
something that
rather
you're
than
learning right now that's like not what you already know?
well in tech there's not I mean well there's I mean in what I do in tech there's not so much that I'm actually learning, or I don't really want to go further with my skills.
Yeah.
I'd rather build on new skills like marketing, copywriting,
Awesome.
these kind of stuff. Because technical skills are good, but then you need to have like some other things to actually sell and do a business, right?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess a lot of the focus right now for you is, okay, I know the tech side now. I know how to build a product. What I don't know and what I want to get better at, rather, right, is
Yeah,
the actual product marketing. It's finding the fit in the market, who the customer target, etc. Right?
exactly,
How are you learning
exactly.
that stuff right now? Is it by just doing it? Are you taking the courses that you were saying, or like
Yeah,
tutorials and
so
stuff?
yeah, so I feel like I'm like redoing the same method that I used to learn code. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's not the most efficient one, but it's one that like that allows me to kind of like have my own space and like learn in my at my speed. It's just experimenting basically. Uh, I don't know. For example, like currently I have a budget that I want to spend in ads every month, and I want to like see how good of a return I can get on those ads and see and yeah, just kind of like improve myself in that. So I want to run an ad. So my thinking process is okay, so what do I need? I need a landing page. Okay, the landing page has to have good copywriting, good graphics. So that's all the things that I need to have. And I just go through all of them and like improve them, and then read things about them. For example, copywriting, there's a lot of communities online where you have people who help themselves with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, marketing and ads, I got a few friends um, who work in marketing firms that I'm sometimes chat with and see if they have any recommendation for the ads that I run. Um, it's a lot of experimenting, I'd say. It's just that, like seeing what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, for
But
sure.
I'm like at this stage I'm not really good at it, so it's like it's
I still
a
think I think
process, I
you're
guess.
good. I know, like you know, when you launch page.io, like your copywriting. What I like about it is that it's simple, right? You're not using any big words, and I think that that alone is copywriting 101, is to make it as simple as possible what the customer is going to get by signing up,
Mhm.
and you know, so
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something you figure out while going, I guess, because I think we all have a tendency to make things more complicated than they should be. Like, and yeah,
yeah, the website's looking beautiful now, man. Having them seen
thank
it,
you.
you know, like a couple months ago.
Yeah,
This is great.
It's growing. It's growing.
Man, I'm like looking at this and I'm like, I wish you worked at my company here at Sunlight. Because there's so many different things that you can do with payment processing now, right? Because people are looking to just optimize CRO all the time, right? Conversion rate optimization, a big part of it has to do with how fast the customer can even get to a payment processing page. Now, what you built, crazy stuff, right? I mean, it's a simple no code landing page just to buy something, right? Essentially.
Yeah.
So with this, this makes competing with even a Shopify, right? For a lot of these freelance people that are using Shopify, right? Like mom and pop shops that are selling one or two products, do they really need to spend all the money on a Shopify platform to get going if they're only having 2 pages on their site? Maybe they can save some money, right? Because I'm looking at your pricing page here. And it's free for individuals and small businesses to get started. So essentially how I think of it is like you can even use a WordPress site, embed your code, right? Essentially,
100%.
and get started.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what a lot of people are doing. I mean, a lot of people. I wish I could say a lot more people, but yeah, that's the way people are going. And I think that's one of the ways I'm later going to be trying to tackle Shopify, because, well, a lot of people are only selling a few products. You get all these drop shipping websites, they got maybe one product. That's it. And like, what's the point? Like,
have you considered a lot of these affiliate marketers and stuff like that that are in the space? Because I could see this being a huge product market fit for you, because I work in the e-commerce industry myself, and I've noticed a lot of these services based affiliate marketers, they're using Shopify and BigCommerce, and that's such a huge expensive tool to use. And they're using it off of their own custom like site. So they'll use like headless BigCommerce to sell 2 products. Why?
yeah.
Right?
No,
Like
right.
so it makes no sense to me, especially if it's services based product. There's no quantity and inventory to worry about. There's no shipments. There's nothing. It's services based. Right. So
there's like I've got a few people I'm trying to onboard that are using ClickFunnels at the time.
ClickFunnels, yes, they're one of our integrations here at the place I work, Sendlane.
Yeah, and we have, well, a lot of people from like who are using ClickFunnels at the time, they just hate the way they kind of like take over payments on their ClickFunnels pages, because firstly, because of the way the pages look on ClickFunnels, people are like, should I put my payment details on this page?
Yeah, they're like, it's like that Apple website I showed you.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't like put a
From
credit card on that,
97.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like if I'm able to build a brand that's like reliable enough, yeah, that would overtake those payments. I think it definitely helps those marketers that are using ClickFunnels at the time. And if they want to keep using ClickFunnels, no problem. They can just embed the page whenever they like, or like.
Yeah, for your payments page, what are you currently using? Like what API are you using? Are you using Stripe, or is
Yeah,
it some other
so
credit merchant?
yeah, so the main one is Stripe, but we also have PayPal. We accept cryptocurrencies. We have authorized.net, which is not available publicly, but there is like different, like all the payment processors that we can have on board, because a lot of customers are already working with their things, so it's good to have whatever they're using integrated.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I could talk about this all day. So I'm in the e-commerce industry. So Kevin, I'm gonna send you a connection request after this so we could talk about it a bit more, because
Sure.
there's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing on your website now, and I'm like, this is beautiful tech. Especially with the personalization and no code side. I don't see that happening in the Shopify platform or BigCommerce platform today. and it could be a potential disruptor. Like we could be talking to a billionaire here, Khaliq. We don't know.
Ooh,
There you go.
billionaire.
Yeah.
What a crazy word. Strong word.
Yeah. No, we don't, you know, like what is your motivation, right? Like what is the end game? A lot of people think about that stuff. I mean, me and Khaliq have thought about what our end games are. It's kind of what we started this podcast. It's like, why do we do this? Why are we always, you know, hustling? What is the point? Kevin, what's
I
your
don't
purpose,
know.
bro?
There is a few of them there. I got a few. It's like I've got a few stages where I want to get at,
Yeah.
and well, then I get my other stages. Like it's kind of like a steps basically that I want to achieve. And right now, what I want to do is, well, with this tool, I want to help freelancers get paid online. That's one of the main reason I'm doing this is because I've been a freelancer before. It's shit to create invoices. It's a pain to have to bother with all these kind of things. And like there is tools, but they're shit and they're not making it easy for people to understand. They take so long to set up, taxes, blah blah blah, so many things.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
first thing I want to make their lives easier. And then I'd say my second step would be I'd love to work with my friends. So that's kind of like the big thing that I want to achieve is be able to work with and hire my friends and have them on board and like having a big family basically working together. That's what I'd like. Then
I love
after
it.
that, then after that, I think it's all bonus. Like okay, if we're able to make enough revenue to like I don't know, have 10 of my friends working on it, it's all bonus. I don't really care. Like
Do you foresee yourself being that type of person that wants that like $1 billion company, or like do you want more of a business that gives you that also that work-life balance where you can hang out with your friends if you have kids, things like that? Like there's like a couple spectrums, right? You have to sacrifice one for the other and so forth.
yeah.
Where do you kind of stand there?
Why not both? No, I'm joking.
Never know.
I don't really know, to be fair. I like having that balance, but I like hustling as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of like get that because like I'm in this realm of like I want to see if I could do this, right? And then at the same time I'm like, but I also want to have fun and chill with my boys.
Yeah.
You know,
There
like I
you
want
go.
to hang out with my homies, like what we're doing now, right? Like Khalik and I, like
Yeah.
we're doing this for fun. If it, you know, heads off and it becomes a thing, then great, you know. But I got to do it with the boy, like my homie. But at the same time, the reason what motivates me to keep being like, hey, Khalik, let's get this going again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Is that hustle thing in the back of my head that's like, yo, if Andrew freaking Tate can be on the internet talking, spewing his bullshit, then why can't I?
True.
So, and you know, it's like that comes in my head, and then I'm like, all right, time to. I get wired. Like I don't even need cocaine or coffee. Like I don't do drugs. It just happens. You know. I'm sure
So
that's the same with you. You're up at what time is it, Kevin? Like 12 o'clock for you?
nah. It's 9:30, 9:46.
Okay, 9:46. Okay, that's still pretty late though. It's like, okay, I could have been chilling, watching some Netflix, but you're like, nah, I want to talk.
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean,
That's a
So,
good point.
it's
yeah.
fun. It's fun, right? It's fun doing things you're not necessarily comfortable with and like I
Yeah,
don't know. It's like if I wasn't there, I would be working on my things. So
there you go. I look at like with the internet, right? Like you have this, like we have billions of people all over the world, right? Even if you can get one piece of that pie, right? Even if it's 0.05% of people in the world that need a simple payment page builder, you will have
yeah,
that. You will find that, right?
yeah. So yeah, a few days ago you sent me this. Oh, sorry, I cut you off. You wanted to
No, I was
no?
done.
You sent me this video about how to validate your ideas. That was it?
From my first
My
million.
first exactly, yeah. My
Yeah.
first million podcast. And Well, I agree, but there's like a few points that I 100% agree with. But I feel like this is way too serious way to go for it. Yeah, like get customers, talk to customers, and if you're just if okay, you need to have like do some research about whatever you're doing. But I always feel like I always think like you, where you're like, if I just can just get like 4, 5, 6, 10 big customers, that's it. That's all I need. Like, yeah, I'm fine with
100%.
that. So yeah, I feel like that's what I'm aiming for first, and then maybe grow in different spaces.
That's awesome. So I guess is page.io what you're going to be focusing on over the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah, definitely. I'm at a stage right now where we can like start properly launching and like making like proper ads and having like onboarding users and yeah, having people try product out and everything. So it's really exciting.
It
Really
is, man. I'm
exciting.
so happy for you, man. Like, so like every evening, or even mornings, like throughout the day, like we were always in the co-working space in our building, and Kevin's there like all the time with us, and we're there sometimes late too. And we always kind of hear the stories of his businesses, and and like I think you were at a point where you're like, where do I focus my attention? And I'm happy to see that you're putting your head down on page.io and doubling down, and now you're starting to see the light out of the tunnel, right? So
Yeah.
that's really good to see, man.
Yeah. I think you've seen me in very low points as well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But what I really
Starting,
admire is like like you have such a good work-life balance, and you can tell in your happiness in life that you're able to make the time, and like that it makes you want it inspires at least inspires me to be wanting to become an entrepreneur where I can control my time. Like a good friend of mine told me there's like three types of like freedom that you want in life. It's like I think there's like time freedom, financial freedom, and location freedom. And
yeah.
like I feel like you've hit all three of that.
Ooh,
So you know, I'm
that's
not kissing
fancy.
ass
Yeah.
here.
Oh, that's
I'm
I
being
think
your
awesome.
brother.
Kevin
Yeah,
want. I
I'm
think
talking to you as if I'm your brother.
Khaliq wants you to hire him. Okay,
You see the
that's what he's
heart.
trying to do right now. He's like, "Yo, Kevin, just hire me, please. I'm tired of where I work. Please get me out of
All right.
here."
And it works. I'm sending you an offer right away.
Done.
All right, so we always ask every single person who's joined. I mean, you're the third person or second person, I don't know, but like we want to make this a trend. What is something that is your cheat code to where you've gotten? What I mean by that is like that one hustle tip that got you to skip ahead. Like for example, that Samsung internship, you said, "Hey, no one really gets this out here in Switzerland, but I somehow
Mhm.
got it." We always like to ask, what was that one thing? It could be a cliche answer, but we'd love to learn
Mm.
about it.
All right. Uh, hmm. I would go for that's a bit cliche again, but being curious is one thing, but then like looking for opportunities as well. Like always like looking for stuff you can do, or like growing out of like I don't know how I could like put this, but trying
Yeah.
to make yourself better in putting yourself in places you're not comfortable in.
Seeking
Like I was not
discomfort.
exactly 100%. Like seek discomfort, they're amazing, and I feel like that's one of the ways you can like grow yourself very fast.
Yeah, big time. It's, doing things that you don't necessarily like to do and you just do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the other piece is like for you is when you see an opportunity, you kind of jump on it quite quickly. You'll like build up a landing page or something like that to see
Yeah,
if it sparks your interest. That's another, I think that's another big hack too.
true,
Um,
true. But again, I feel like even if there is an opportunity that doesn't look appealing at first, but you know that could lead you to something good, or it could at least improve you, like improve you. I don't know if you can say that, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
well, I don't know, force yourself to do it, like going on
What's
stage the
something that
first
you've
time.
done that like you would say is seeking discomfort?
Well, I mean, like back then when I've kind of like left my country to kind of like go in London, that was like big thing. Like I was what, 19 at the time.
Yeah, it's
So my
huge.
family was like, okay, bye, Kevin. What the fuck are you doing? Are you coming back? And I was like, oh, I'm just going there for 6 months, blah blah blah. And then I accepted the offer. So that thing, I think like that was a big one. But then it's also the very small one, the small steps that you make. Like for my job, I had to obviously go to conferences, speak in front of like a lot of people. So that was as
Yeah.
well, and another one of those steps. And like speaking at a virtual conference where it's even weirder to speak at, done. Like leading projects is done. Like I think it's just the accumulation of like steps that you can do that are like kind of like out of what you're comfortable with right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully we'll have someone.
No, I will. I will. Kevin, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us. Like, um, yeah, I think this is gonna be an awesome episode for people. Gonna be an inspiring one.
Amazing. Great. Well, it was
Awesome.
really nice speaking to you guys.